Aloha and welcome to iRock's build series on the Axial RR10 Bomber 1/10 scale electric four-wheel drive kit. Phase 1. So basically, quick introduction into the instruction manual. You have your cautions, equipment, electronics you need for your RC or for this bomber. Motor, servos, ESC, receiver, battery for a transmitter and the transmitter, certain tools, and then here's your parts list. And then page 1 looks like would be like all axial builds, assembling the axle housing, front and rear, differential gears, pinion gears, and yep, that's probably what will be phase 1. Building the axles, putting the axles together, and then it leads on to the transmission. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. About 50 something steps, over 50 steps. So enough of the jibber jabber chit chat. Let's get on to this build. But first, I'll be needing plastic bag 1 and bag A, which I have right here. So plastic bag parts and bag A, bag B. So let's get to it. Here I have is bag A. Hardware, it's like we have the universal shaft, axle shaft, front shafts, straight axles, some screws, differential gear, or bevel gear, your pinion gear, your locker, so and ball bearings, gaskets, and other cool stuff. So I'll go open this bag and I'll proceed with step 1. And step 1, I'll be needing 8 M2 by 10 millimeter cap head screws. So 1 and 8. And then we'll be needing 4 10 by 15 by 4 millimeter ball bearings. 2 diff gaskets, 16 by 25 by 0.5 millimeters, 2 lockers, and 2 38 tooth bevel gear. And then we'll be needing the plastic housing. So let's get to. Oh wait, I have one more thing. Can't forget the Loctite. For step 2, I'll be needing 8 M3 by 10 millimeter hex socket button heads. So, yep, so 1, 2, 8. And then next I'll be needing 8 M2 by 10 millimeters. 1, 2, 8. Just to make sure. And then 4 5 by 11 by 4 millimeter ball bearings. 2 heavy duty bevel gears, 13 tooth. And for the plastics, I'll be needing part 3 AX31317, part number 4, which is right here. I forgot what these jiggies are called. This is the for the locker, bevel gear, to hold in the axle housing. And then also be needing this is part 4, which I got from here, and then I'll be needing part 3 or part 2, which is right here. So 2 of those. Once again, part 3 AX31317, part 4, which is right here. And part 2 axle front cover. And of course, 2 axle housings. In this part of the build, looks like I'll be installing the C-hubs and steering knuckles along with the universal shaft for the front axles. So it should be cool, should be pretty interesting. But first thing first, I'll be needing 4 M3 by 6 millimeter button heads screws, 4 M3 by 10 millimeter button head screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 flange pipes, 3 by 4.5 by 5.5. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll be needing 4 5 by 11 by 4 millimeters bearings, and 2 10 by 15 by 4 millimeter bearings. And then for the plastics, I'll be needing plastic tree AXA0113, which is right here. Actually, I have to correct myself. It's AX80062. The part number is AXA0113. These two right here, which is the C-hubs. So I'll get that out of the way. And then I'll be needing my universal shafts, the long one and the short one. So looks like that's it for that part of the build, step 3. So step 3 continues on to the bottom, and it looks like I'll be needing my steering knuckles, plastics, and you can find that in plastic parts tree AX31316. Part number AXA115. They're numbered like in the Axial SAX10 2. So this is steering knuckle 1 and steering knuckle 2. Hopefully the camera catches that. I have this on autofocus. So this is 1, and that will go on the long side of the axles, and 2 will go on the short side. And that's basically it. So let's get to this build. In step 4, I'll be installing the straight axles into the axle housing. Looks like I'll be needing 4 M3 by 10 millimeter button head screws and 2 5 by 11 by 4 millimeter bearings. I just wanted to point out real quick before I proceed with this build. In the instruction manual, it says use screws AXA113. All 4 screws. It says here AXA115, which is M3 by 10 millimeters. The AXA0113 screws are 3 by 6 millimeters, which is the only screws I have left in the bag, which is this screw right here. So I'm not too sure what is right. I'm assuming with the same as the front axle that since we're mounting or installing the these axle hubs, so we're using the AXA113. I'm pretty sure this is a mistake on the instruction manual. But remember, folks, when assembling or operating your RC or Axial RR10 Bomber, read the instruction manual. So, like I said, I only have these screws left in the bag, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if this works out. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm gonna have to look for some M3 by 10 millimeter screws somewhere in my studio. But other than that, here's the 5 by 11 by 4 millimeters, 2 bearings, 2 times, 2 bearings, 2 times, and then we have is the long and short axles and the rear axle housing, and then we'll be needing plastic part 3, plastic part 3 AX0071, which I have here. And so these 2 right here, they're not numbered, so it doesn't matter which left or right. So I will get these set up and proceed with the build process. In step 5, looks like I'll be installing the link mounts onto the front and rear axles. So I'll be needing plastic part 3, AX0072, which I have here, part number 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. 1 looks like it's going to be going in on the front axle. So that's 1. And then 2 be on the rear. So I'll put this on the side. And then also be needing a lower link mount from plastic part 3, AX31317, part number 5. So right here, 1 and 2, so 2 of them. So 1 and 2. Same goes for the rear. Put those on the side. And then I'll be needing 2 M3 by 8 millimeter hex socket flat head, which is right here. 1, 2, and then I'll be needing 4 M3 by 16 millimeter cap heads, which I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 M3 by 20 millimeter hex socket button head, which I have here, and then 1 M3 by 3 millimeter, or not 1 but 2 M3 by 3 millimeter set screw, these tiny guy right here. And then same goes for the lower, the rear axles. 2, 4, 1, and 2. So I'll put these on the side and go ahead and do step number 5, which is the front axle.